Hi, Brad from WPSites.net. Let's take a look at displaying an image slider in multiple WordPress themes. So we'll be using the 2011 and the 2012 default theme for WordPress, and I'll also show you how to do this if you're using the Genesis theme framework or StudioPress themes. So once you understand how to do that, you'll be able to do it with any theme because it's pretty straightforward. But let's just have a look at what the result is. Now, this is the 2012 default theme for WordPress. It's the latest free theme that's included in every installation of WordPress, and you can see I've put in an image slider in the header here. You can see the images are different sizes, so you got this little bit of a gap there, so I could easily fix that quite easily. This is a picture, an image of Rio in South America, and this one here is an image that I've created using a free web design tool, and I've linked to that here. I've written a separate article on that. So if you want to make some images for your slider and put them in here rather than use photographs, click this link. You'll find a link below this video. Click that link through to the post, and I've written an extensive blog post on this, and you'll find a link below it. The image sizes that I'm using in this demonstration, the one I created using the web design tools, 960 wide by 330 in height. The image is a different size. I'm also using the Genesis Simple Hooks plugin, which is a free plugin. So if you're using Genesis or any of the StudioPress themes, install that. And the slider I'm using, the image slider, is a free slider. It's called Easing Slider plugin. And I'm going to show you how to put this into multiple themes. So it's a fairly extensive video. It's really easy to do. You don't need to be a coder to do it, so don't worry. Don't think it's going to be difficult, because it really isn't. At first thought it might be, but it's really not. And I'll show you how to display this slider. You can show it before the header, inside the header, or after the header. So I'll just show you what that looks like. And there's two ways you can do it. You can use this little bit of code that they provide, and you just have to paste that into the right location. Or if you want to put the slider within a page or a post, you can just use this little tag and just paste that into the page of the post, into your text HTML editor. So I've got a gallery of the samples here, the different examples that it results in, and you can see them here in my blog post. So you can check out all of them, and I'll show you what the different header images look like in different locations, before, after, and inside your header. So you might find that interesting. Alright, now the first step is you log into your WordPress dashboard. You'll need to install a plugin, so go to add new plugins and search for the Easing Slider plugin. It's fairly popular. It's been downloaded nearly 200,000 times, which is a pretty good indication. So you just type that into the search box there, search for plugins, find the plugin and activate it, and that's pretty straightforward. And then you have to configure the settings, and here it is here, Easing Slider. You can see I've already installed it. It's by Matthew Ruddy. It's actually it's a custom designed Nevo slider. So he's used the Nevo slider code, and obviously he's forked that into a plugin, and he's customized it. So you can see it's fairly popular. It's rated 4 stars. I've tried this with multiple themes. It's been downloaded 180,000 times, so it's a pretty good indication that it's a good plugin. It's worked with every theme I've tested it on a local installation. So install that, and then you'll get a little thing down here, a little tab in your sidebar here. We'll click on this, and you have to go to the settings. You can configure the slider settings first. Now you can display this really nice arc, and I'll just show you this. At the moment it's disabled, and you can either use a small or a large arc. Let's see what a large arc looks like, and this is a shadow arc. So it sort of comes out a bit. This is the flat version, so this is with the arc disabled. But we'll just change those settings, and you can see the effect here down the bottom. It's got the shadow and it's got the arc. So it's sort of it's like 3D, and it looks really nice. It's really effective. So that's the setting there. You'll find that under the slider settings. And there's a few other settings there. They're pretty self-explanatory. The width is obviously very important, and this is going to depend on which theme you're using. If you're using 2011, I think you want to set this at about 1,000 pixels in width, and the height's up to you. You know, it's really variable, but probably around 300 pixels is a good size. And you can go through those other settings and customize them there. You can even add your own little navigation icons in there, and you can put the upload them to your media library and put the path in there. Just put the address to them. So that's pretty straightforward. So I changed that width to 1,000. We'll just have a look at that. That won't work with the current theme. It'll probably be too wide. So let's just take a look at that. Yeah, you can see it's pretty big. It comes over the edge here. So, but it looks pretty nice, and that size will work on 2011. So if we go to 2011, and let's just go into themes, and we'll switch to 2011. I've already installed the code in 2011. Here it is here. We'll activate that, and we'll check out what that looks like. So there you have it there. It fits perfectly into the width. It looks really nice. It's just above the navigation menu. If you disable the shadow arc, that image will come down flush with this navigation menu and looks really nice. So it fits in perfectly with 2011. So let's just take a look at how to install it. So once you've activated the plugin, you've configured those settings, then you just need to upload your images. So upload them to your media library, which is here, add new. And we'll just go in there. You need to grab the URL to each image. So we'll go in the first one there and just grab the file URL, grab it from here, go back into easy slider, and we need to go to the path. So we need to put the image path in, which is what I've just grabbed there. Save the changes, and that's how you upload the images. Now once you've uploaded the images, you have to edit the file. So it really depends on what theme you're using, but as I said before, there's two ways you can display it. You can use the short code within the content area of your post or your page, or the PHP code. So we'll grab that PHP code, and we'll just go in here, and we'll go to the theme. So go to appearance. We have to put this in the head section. So we go to appearance, editor, and we've got all the files here, and the first one we'll do is 2011. Even though I've already put the code in here, I'll show you where I put it. Just scroll down here to the header PHP, go down here, and you can access this file using FTP or cPanel. It doesn't really matter. There's several ways you can access the header PHP file. So we have to go down here, and we have to paste this code in. And let's just have a look at where I put it. And here it is here. If you scroll down just below the head tag there, you can see the head tag right here. I've just pasted this code in here. So this is one way you can paste the code in. And you can see this line of text here. Check to see if the header image has been removed. So what you need to do is comment the header out. So you just add those two comments there, and that comments the header image out, so the header image won't be pulled in. Instead, the slider will be displayed in that area. So that's how you do it with 2011. We'll just take another look at how you can do it as well for 2011. You can go into your style sheet. So we'll do that. We'll go into the child theme style sheet. I'm working off a local installation, but once you go into WP content, and you can access this using cPanel or FTP, and we'll find the theme, and in this case it's 2011. Open up 2011, and we're going to go down to header.php. So this is the file you want to look for. Open this up in Notepad++, which is a free text editor, and you can see here if you go down to about line 77 you can see the code I've pasted in there. So that's the code that you need to put in, and you need to comment out the header image in 2011. In 2012 you don't need to do that, but in 2011 you need to do that. So just paste the code in there and save the changes, and you can see I've provided a screenshot on how to do it for 2011 and 2012 also. So all the information's in the blog post. You'll find the link below the video. So that's how you do it with 2011. Make sure you back up this file before you make changes to it, and just download a copy of that to your desktop before you edit any PHP code. If you put the code in the wrong place you may suffer an error, so you want to make sure you've got a backup just in case. So let's have a look at 2012 now. So that's 2011. Looks really nice. We'll just remove the shadow, so I'll show you what it looks like without the shadow. So we'll go into the settings, easing slider settings. Here, let's disable the shadow, and you can see that this looks really nice. So there it is there, you can see it's like perfectly aligned, flush up with the top of the menu bar, and you can put this navigation bar here for the menu. You can put that above the image if you wanted to, so I'll show you how to do that in another video. So that looks really clean, it looks really good. There's lots of different things you can do with the slider effect. It doesn't have to be sliding, you can have fade in, fade out, all sorts of stuff. So let's just take a look at 2012 now. So we'll change this theme to 2012, and where's 2012? 2012 is a really nice free theme. The code in it is excellent, so we'll take a look at what that looks like. Now I think the image width will be too wide, so you can see it is here. On 2012 it's too wide, so we need to reduce that. So we need to find out what the correct header width is. So if we go to appearance header, it should tell us here 960 is the suggested width. So we'll just change the settings. We'll go down to easing slider settings, change that to 960. We can keep the height at any height. Around the 300 mark's pretty good. So we'll just refresh that, and that's reduced the size, so it's the perfect fit for the header there. And that looks really good, and we could add the shadow to that as well if we wanted to. So that's how you add the slider to 2011 and 2012 theme. Now if you're using the Genesis theme framework, we'll take a look at that. Let's go to appearance themes, and we'll just try it with the Genesis framework without a child theme installed. So we'll activate Genesis, and it's a fantastic framework if you want to customize your site. We'll see what this looks like, and this is what it looks like in the Genesis theme framework. It looks pretty smooth as well. It's flushed perfectly with the navigation menu there, which you could put above the image as well. So that looks really good as well. So we'll take a look at how we did that, and what I did was I installed a plugin. So if we go to plugins, and the plugin is called Simple Hooks. So if we go to plugins, add new, we'll just go to the top of the post here, and it's called the Genesis Simple Hooks plugin. So we'll copy that, paste that in the search box. I've already installed the plugin, but we'll just take a quick look at this. If you're new to WordPress, you might not understand how to find and install the plugins. So we just search for this plugin using the search plugins box, and it'll come up here, Genesis Simple Hooks. So we've installed that now, and you'll find with the Genesis tab, when you install a Genesis theme, you'll get a Genesis tab here, and any plugins that are for Genesis you'll have access to them from here. So let's go to Simple Hooks, and this gives you the ability to add code and execute code anywhere there's a hook location. So I'm not going to go into hooks too much because they can get complicated, but this plugin simplifies it. All you need to do is paste the PHP code in any of these areas, and there's a whole range of different areas. There's about 40 or 50 different hook locations that'll execute the code for the PHP in the location that you put it. So if we just scroll down here, we've got document hooks. Let's scroll down to header hooks. So Genesis provides 3 header hooks, which makes it really good for customizing. They've got the Genesis before header hook, the Genesis header hook, and the Genesis after header hook. So these are 3 locations that you can actually display your slider. So I've displayed it in the header, which I've just shown you. Let's take it out of the header, and let's just delete this, and we'll put it before the header and see what it looks like. So we'll paste that code in there, execute PHP on this hook. This is PHP code, so that's what we'll be doing, and we'll just save those changes and we'll see what it looks like on the Genesis theme framework. Refresh this. So here it is here. It's displaying the slider before the header, and this is the header. I haven't actually added an image for the header. I've just got some text there, WP sites. So if you're wanting to put the slider in there and your header there, you can do that, and you can have the nav menu below your header, or you can have the nav menu above the slider. So there, that's the Genesis Simple Hooks plugin, and you can also display the slider below your header. So we'll take a look at that, and we just move down to the next box, execute PHP on this code, and you can unhook the header. So you can actually display the slider below the header and keep the header there, or you can totally unhook the header so there's no header. So let's just do that as well. And we'll go here, and this will filter out the header completely. So you've just got the slider here, and you've got the nav menu. Now let's just change it, and that looks really smart. Let's just change it and not unhook the header, so you can have the header there as well. Refresh. So we can have the header up the top now. See, before it was below. So we've got the header up the top, and you can have a text or a small image header here. You could have your header here with your logo. Then you could have your nav menu there, which is probably a pretty good idea. And then you can filter out this nav menu, or have a second nav menu here. So this is why Genesis is so good. It just gives you so many hooks, which are really easy to use. You don't have to understand PHP. You can simply use the code from the different plugin that you're using, and you can just paste it into a hook area and display whatever that code's for. So here's the code here. There's a bit more information that you might find handy. There's a few other things that you've got to look at depending on the theme you're using, and that is the header height and width. Different themes have got different header heights and width. So there's a link here, and this links to a post that I've written about how to find and change the height of your header area. So if we're looking at this theme here, the Genesis theme, this is the perfect width. But if we change to 2011, which is a very popular theme, we go into appearance themes and we change, this will be a different size. So we'll just change that now quickly. Even though you can change the slider width, you may need to change the width and the height of your header area. And you can see in this case I need to adjust the settings in the slider because it's a different size. But you also may need to adjust the header and the image height as well, and that has to be done in your child themes style.css file and in your child themes functions.php file. So I've written that post as well, which helps with that as well. So that's pretty much it. It's a pretty long video tutorial, but it just shows you how easy it is to install a header, a slider in your header image in WordPress. So thanks for watching, folks, and see you next time. Cheers.